Happy Saturday, everybody. This is January 27, 2024. Let's do a quick stock market update. Starting with Bitcoin, you can see I have drawn this daily chart and it's coming right to resistance. If I go to 1 hour chart, you can see what's happening here. The reason I said Bitcoin is moving higher is because of Ethereum. You can see Ethereum, this is a CME future. And if I zoom in on 1 hour chart, you see there's a gap around 2484. And I said in my short video, it's also posted on TikTok. I said if you go to daily chart, I think this is going to be filled. Okay, so this gap is going to be filled and then we're going to go down. So where we are right now, Ethereum closed around 2276. There's still possible around 8.5%, 9% pump. Okay, now for Ethereum to move higher, Bitcoin needs to move higher. Okay, and Bitcoin gave a higher move, and I think Bitcoin can stabilize somewhere here around 44, 45K. It can go a little bit more higher if possible, but this is a big resistance area, all right? I think that's where Bitcoin is going. We can even make it a little bit higher like here, okay? So this, I think this is what's happening. I think Bitcoin should stall here. That should give Ethereum chance to stabilize. And if I bring in moving averages, you can see this wide line is 20 moving average. Bitcoin is facing resistance right here. So I think it can go a little bit more higher or it can find resistance here, just chop around here, and then it's going to go down. And you can see all these green gaps. Let me hide this moving average. You can see all these green gaps will be filled at some point. I don't know when. If I zoom out, the green gaps are right till 20,155. All right. And momentum indicators, this is PPO. Green line is still below red line. I want to see a reversal to see I want to see green line above red line. Okay, and I want to see okay, we got first green dot here, but I don't have divergence. Okay, I want this to fail. So this pump should fail and then we should see a lower high. And I want to see divergences like here, like what happened here around 2022 November. Bitcoin was making a lower high, lower high, lower high. RSI was making higher high. You can see a higher high, higher high. PPO was also doing the same thing. If I draw a line here, you can see here something like this, and PPO was also doing this. All right. So momentum, this is momentum. So Bitcoin was going lower, RSI was going higher, PPO was going higher. This is momentum indicator. That's what I want to see. Okay. I don't see that divergence right now. And you can see opposite was happened here. You can see price was making higher high, RSI was making lower high, PPO was making lower high. Okay, this high here, which was around 560, this came on a divergence, which means RSI was lower, PPO was lower. Okay, so this bounce should fail. So if you're in profit, look to take profits, wait for these dips. You can see all the way till 20,155. All these other gaps, they all will be filled. From where Bitcoin right now, the bottom gap is almost around 50 to 53% away. All right. So just keep that in mind. Ethereum, same thing. I'm looking for this gap to fill around 8-9% pump. So this gap should fill and then come down eventually for 1850, 1613. And on Ethereum, gap is still 1194. At some point, all these should be filled, and that's around 50%. This is in line with Bitcoin as well. All right. Okay, so that's it for crypto. Let's move to traditional market. VIX, you can see it's on a very nice trend line. High, 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 low. This is fear. This is fear index. VIX is higher means people are scared. S&P 500 should go down, and if VIX goes lower, that means S&P 500 should go higher. Now, there's you can see VIX is also red and SPY is also red, which is very rare. But anyhow, for now, you can see it's making higher high. If I go to 1 hour chart, let's add regular trading. Oh, this is regular. So you can see no gaps here. We had a gap up. We came to fill the gap. Now there are other gaps to the upside. Those will be filled at some point, 16 and then 21. So right now, just be a bit careful here. Let's quickly look at SPY. Let's go to 1 hour chart and see if there are any gaps here. Let me hide regular trading hours. Okay, here you go. This is SPY. There you go. And I have to go to 1 hour, sorry. This is 1 hour chart. And you can see there's a gap here on SPY 482. Then there is another gap around 468. So all this should be filled at some point. Looking for this to top out next week. We have earnings of Apple, very big players, Amazon, Google, AMD. This should top out next week. I think market will hold until end of next week and then go down. So just looking for this to top out and then go down. All right. And if I bring in moving averages here as well, you can see same thing here. It's above all moving averages, and then as long as it's above this 20 line, it should be okay. But I think at some point, maybe in Q1 this year until March, we should come and face this 468, and worst case we can even go to the 455, these two gaps here. So I'm looking for these two gaps to touch, but when that happens we will review at that time. Triple Qs was a bit weaker. Let's go to 1 hour chart. You can see we had a gap up, filled the gap, and this gap is also filled. You can see this gap up. I was telling everybody on Thursday, and we can delete it now. And let's go back to daily chart. So now it looks like it's topping out. Maybe it's just going to chop around here until earnings, and then it will fill all these gaps. My target is this pink line, 378. Eventually that will be filled at some point. Dow Jones again just chopping around, and then eventually should go down. IWM, this gap is still not filled, looking for that gap to fill. Let's go to 1 hour chart and see on Dow Jones, was there any gap? No gaps here. IWM also no gaps here. All right. Let's quickly look at other indexes. Gold is holding very nicely, I think, or above this. If I bring in moving averages, you can see it's holding nicely above this white yellow line, which is 50 EMA, daily 50 EMA. So holding nicely. As long as it can hold here, it can bounce. Silver, all right, a little bit weak, but you can see it's holding this nice trend line, white line. So it's went down. That was a trap, stop rate, and then going higher. Now also holding this line here. So as long as it holds, I think it's getting ready for a big bounce here. All right. Apple, there's a gap here around. This gap is not filled. My orders were there on Friday. They did not fill it. You can see this gap around here. Let me hide this moving averages. You can see it maybe better. This gap is still not filled. One gap is here, 191. Second gap is here, 182. So these are multiple gaps. So looking for these gaps to fill, and just it's going to chop around here, and then earnings will decide if it's going to fill this gap or it's going to go higher. Okay. Tesla, multiple gaps, and also very oversold. You can see this red line, very oversold here on Tesla. So good time to buy in my opinion. Now long term we can come down to fill this gap around 161, and there's also multiple gaps ups. Now I don't know which gap will fill first, but eventually all the gaps should fill. So if you can hold this for long, it's possible we can fill this gap, then come down to fill this bottom gap. All right. Or we it's possible we go down first. Oops, sorry. It's possible we go down first. Let me make this zoom out. Also, it's possible we go down here and then go higher. All right. Now, I don't know which way we go. This gap should be filled around 206. And from where we are, this is around 12-13% away. Okay. So keep that in mind. Let me delete this. All right. Let's keep moving. Natural gas looking for new low. Okay. It did make a, looks like a new low, and divergences are forming. So that's good. Let's see quickly moving averages and how things are still below all moving averages. That's good. So anyhow, so I'm looking for weakness until mid-Feb. That's how this indicator is showing. Little bit more weakness, some more divergence. There's already divergence forming. Little bit more weakness till mid-Feb, and then a massive bounce. That should be bottom on natural gas. Crude oil, very good. It broke this trend line. Just keep going higher. And if I bring in moving averages above all moving averages right now, this last one was 200 EMA. It's above that as well. So looking nice. Dollar holding nice like a flag and ready to break out. Toronto Stock Exchange looking for a little bit of gaps, maybe a little bit downwards move, then go higher. Hang Seng Index, until it breaks this white trend line, I'm not bullish, so I'm still going to be a bit cautious here. So wait for this trend line to break on China. All right. And what else is here? Let's quickly look at commodities. Copper, very nice by the dip. Soybeans, very nice, making divergence in a buy area right now. Sugar, also very nice. Look for buy the dip. Look, little bit of weakness, you should be looking to buy it. Wheat, if I bring in moving averages, it's above all moving averages, holding support, so also good time to buy. Corn, also making divergences here. Green dot here giving me so buy signal. Also you can see long term there's divergence, high on PP or high on RSI, so looking good as well. Netflix, massive gap up after earnings, multiple gaps will be filled at some point. I don't know when. Amazon also going higher on divergence. Out of all these mega stocks, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Google, one of them should dump harder. Should look to buy. Wait for earnings to be done. You can see there are divergences everywhere. Microsoft also divergence. Google also showing divergence. So look to buy on these divergences. All right. Okay, guys, Intel had a massive dump, 11%, but there's another gap here, 42.86. That's another good area to buy. All right, guys, that's it for today. Have a good day. Bye.